Palo Alto Network, and then the Rivian stock disaster, I guess you could call it right now. And then I wanted to watch a CNBC video later on talking about how one guy predicts that Bitcoin could get all the way up here to maybe $150,000. So that'll be pretty fun to watch here too. What I need to do very fast is just refresh this to make sure it's actually working. And I can't tell if it is. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so a whole lot of stuff to talk about here today. But, again, before we get started with all this, if you guys can, please make sure to like, hit that subscribe button. If you guys can, comment as much as possible. I know this is a little bit of a later night stream here, and we should be good to go. However, with NVIDIA, just before we go off and everything, with NVIDIA kind of blowing off the top here, like a discount killer was talking, it really is showing us some strength here that only the AI sector really has. We've seen other companies do okay. They're doing fine. They're kind of just moving up because the market as a whole is moving up. Today, we saw a lot of other sectors just not doing so well, but NVIDIA is doing just fine. They are chugging along. I know there's going to be a point where it gets too expensive to buy, and I think we're probably going to be reaching that over the next few quarters. However, until that time comes, we are really looking at some strong moves, and that's all I think we should care about here. All right. So let me do this thing very fast. There we go. All right. And we should be good to go. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like nobody got the notifications, or it's going to take a few seconds for the notifications to kick off. Normally, I try to keep track of the concurrent viewers in the first few minutes. Normally, we'd be up to like 40 or 50 from here, so I'm not entirely sure what happened, or if YouTube's just playing games on this. Regardless, I think we're still going to be fun. So what I want to do now is actually just go over here to the middle display, move up a little bit. I'm laying back. And so, as you guys can see, there was a lot of action today and yesterday with Bitcoin. We talked about this. I put out a video today telling you guys before the earnings came out, I put out a video saying, hey, I know Bitcoin's dipping, but I'm not necessarily buying this dip for another multi-day hold. I say multi-day because we really haven't had those opportunities to do many swing trades, etc. However, I'm not doing that, and I'll explain why here over the next few minutes. And I think we should be good from there. So first of all, when we look at Bitcoin, just as we look at the daily charts and even on the weekly charts here, actually, let's just start there. We're still in a good spot. Nothing is necessarily like freaking out. Nobody's panicking right now. We haven't broken down below the 20-week moving average. We're still in a very nice, generally strong uptrend here, okay? So let me preface that. On the shorter time frames, shorter time frames like the daily chart, we are looking at possibly a pullback that takes us back down here towards $50,000, $49,000, and then possibly if things get bad again below $48,000. That would be the bad spot. We don't want to really break down below because that starts bringing us back down all the way down here, where we're consolidating maybe around $44,000, $45,000, which is like $6,000, $7,000 less than where we are currently right now. So I'm not really betting on us getting that low, maybe, unless the market as a whole decides to come back down. But on the shorter time frames here, I want to show you guys what happened today, because we're just seeing a lot of volatility. So I think since yesterday we started coming down bit by bit. We hit another drop off this morning where everybody was kind of like, what do we do? What do we do? This drop off took us down about about $2,000 $2,000 here, and then we consolidated. We had the good news coming out of after 1 o'clock with NVIDIA, and we saw the market kind of pop back up, and then something interesting happened. We kind of got knocked right back down, unfortunately. If I go over here to the 4-hour chart, it looks maybe a little bit more dramatic, and I think that's just because right now we're looking at this 4-hour death cross happening. We're seeing all the oscillators on the 4-hour chart turn negative. And then if we go over here to the daily chart, we are seeing how everything is about to turn negative. The daily chart on the MACD hasn't turned negative just yet, but it looks like we want to. So I'm watching this very closely. I'm hoping we really don't, because if we do, we're probably heading back down towards $49,000, $48,000, and that's going to be a sticky situation for a few people, because perhaps they have some swing trades they're hoping that work out. But for me, the reason I'm not buying Bitcoin right now, and I'm only kind of dollar cost averaging alts today, is I still feel like we have a little bit more room to come back down. And on that dip is where I really want to buy. I'm just hoping that it's something of a dip going back into that longer trend, so we don't really have to worry about maybe coming back down below the 20-week moving average. Historically, breaking down below the 20-week moving average with like no news, it's a pretty bad event. So this time, bad event right there. Again, not traumatic, just bad. Over here, we broke down below it. That one wasn't too bad. It looks like we just found some support off of this high. Hopefully we can do that, but the support level, again, is all the way down here at 44,000, 45,000, which we just talked about. And then, you know, the last few over here, which we're just definitely not, and let's not talk about the bear market, because we're not in a bear market. We're in a bull market right now, right? But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about at this moment in time. If I go back over here to the 1 hour chart, excuse me, we're still going more sideways. We're kind of at the bottom part of the range right now. And you can see, because of what we had happen earlier today, we did make a fresh new low in this consolidation after recently making a new high. We're seeing a lot of volatility. As far as day trades go, I'd much rather be a short here, but I'm not even going to take that because of how volatile the market's been. I'm just not buying anything except for altcoins. I'm just patiently waiting. Now, a few other things here. Well, actually, no, for now, we can stop that as far as Bitcoin's concerned. Just know we're still in that range, but we are seeing a little bit more bearish activity. That bearish activity suggests we probably would need to come back down to maybe $50,000, maybe less, hopefully not less than $48,000. Like right now, you can see the support level right over here. That's kind of around 49,400. That's a reasonable expectation here, unless we have some type of really bad news event, which I don't think would be happening right now because there's not really much news about cryptocurrency besides the Bitcoin spot ETF news. Now, back over here on the 4 hour chart, let's go to the daily chart. We can just peek at a bunch of other altcoins because altcoins as a whole kind of got hit today. Ethereum starting to teeter off here. You're seeing that slight breakdown occur. So, I guess I should probably... There you go. You know, we're starting to see some smaller breakdowns. Nothing that causes Ethereum to come all the way back down to like 2,100 or something. You know, we just tapped on 3,000 for heaven's sakes. It's just that you're seeing everything slow down just a tad. Nothing crazy, but enough for us to think that, hey, maybe we'll get a nice pullback here pretty soon so we can buy more crypto. This is not necessarily something where you're looking to sell a whole bunch of stuff. The stuff I recommended selling a few days ago was more like those altcoins that were really ripping, and it was more of a scale-out opportunity. But if you guys were swing trading, maybe your stop losses also got hit, so that's also something right there. And hey, Tyler, what's right here? Porta John. And hey, Bills, happy to see you, my man. What do you think about Jasmine coin? Should you buy it now? No, probably not. It already popped. I don't play stuff that pops like that. If you wanted to buy it before it popped, there's always an opportunity there. But after it's popped and it's moved, you're most likely going to be doing some day trading and things like that. And hey, Wilder, happy to see you back as well. Trying to be more upbeat today, but I'm just damn tired. I keep on falling asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I need to stop it. I really need to stop it. But I think over the next few days, I think that tonight I'm gonna take some melatonin and I'll be good. I remembered I thought I wasn't gonna stream today, and or maybe it was yesterday, because I told you guys I wanted to clean up my house and I have a bunch of cardboard sitting upstairs from all these boxes. Like there's close to like 40 boxes upstairs of stuff that I need to like break down and toss into my recycling, and I just have not gotten to it. Because I was buying some stuff for my sister. So I'm like behind on the housework. So I might take tomorrow off, but we'll talk about that later on. Now, you see stuff like Ethereum coming down, ADA getting knocked back down. You're seeing this is a pretty common theme here, right? AMP, excuse me. AMP is finally making a move. That's interesting. This thing has been doing nothing for months. Like this is December over here. It's been doing nothing. Ape token coming down, Arbitrum coming down a little bit, AXS, nothing crazy here. BNB is actually making a move. That's surprising. I wonder if there's some news around Binance. XRP still consolidating, etc., etc. The one thing here, and we'll talk about this as we go over to NVIDIA, or actually, let's talk about NVIDIA right now. Because NVIDIA did have that revenue up 265% on booming AI business, we'll just go through the report here. It was a very good day for NVIDIA. Let's just start it off with that. And I'll just kind of read some of the key points here and talk about what this means going forward. So, NVIDIA reported earnings after the bell that beat Wall Street expectations for earnings and sales, and said revenue during the current quarter would be better than expected. NVIDIA has been primarily the primary beneficiary. Jesus, my voice is all over the place. NVIDIA has been the primary beneficiary of the recent technology industry obsession with large I don't know if I can read today, guys. With the large artificial intelligence models, which are developed on the company's pricey graphics processor for servers. They kind of have a monopoly right now. They're exploiting it. They have a lot of money. Let them make their money. if you're a holder in NVIDIA, you've been pretty happy with the results so far. And then he said, I guess they go over, the level of growth that they're going to be able to sustain and things like that. I think they will be able to do it probably for a couple more quarters, a few more quarters. You're going to see other companies get more into this and be able to maybe not make a better product, but at least give you a cheaper product that can still do a lot of the stuff and maybe not everything. So this will be some competition for NVIDIA going down the line. Now, because of that, what we saw happen here is we saw a couple of the AI tokens have these really volatile times off of that news. NMR, Fetch went to a new cycle high, and AGIX over here went up high again. So you're seeing those moves happen a lot. I will say, as I have my Fairdesk account over here, my account overall, I think, is kind of steady. Yeah, it's gone down overall for the last few days, but AI tokens are keeping me in the hunt. If I zoom in just a tad, remember, I think I only had like 4 red tokens because I had bought some new tokens over the last few days. And I'm like, they're probably going to go down. You're probably going to see much more red. Red, 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 and red. And then we also have some of these really large ones going off with like wild up $400, because that one's still doing fine. Or WLD, excuse me. We still got Fetch AI up 90% or almost $700. And then of course the AGIX one over here is up 176% or almost pretty much $1,000. So that's pretty much what's saving me right now with all these other altcoins I've been buying into. And sure, these other altcoins are down like $33, $5, $2. They're not really down a bunch. But still, you can see how AI is definitely helping out my broader portfolio when it comes to crypto, and I'm excited about that. But again, some of these AI tokens, let's go to the monthly chart, they are hitting some nice levels here. Even going back over here to Fetch, right? It's trying to break out and go to a new cycle high, and I think even an all-time high here. So AI tokens seem to be doing great. My fear here is if you guys are in this, or if you guys haven't gotten any yet, understand that AI is kind of a thing right now. Everybody's very interested in it. It'll be making money for a long time to come. These tokens may come down as NVIDIA comes down, and it doesn't look like NVIDIA wants to come down today, but in the future NVIDIA will come crashing down. So just be aware of what maybe that means for those specific AI tokens that we're talking about. Just keep that in the back of your head, so you guys aren't surprised, like, why is this going down one day when Bitcoin's going up or something like that? Get it? All right. Let's go back over here very fast. Get out of NVIDIA. Broader market. Well, let's just do this. Jasmine tokens up 42% in the last, 24 hours. That's doing good. Last 7 days, it's been going crazy. If you guys have been doing the day trading on it, you've been fine. I missed out on this pop, so I'm definitely not buying into it. AGIX is up 24% today. We just talked about that. That one's a very good beauty. But when I remind you about AGIX, this is a 15-minute chart. Go over here to the 4-hour chart, and you can see it was having a downward move before the good news came out. That move right there was down 17%. So, it's just making some of that up. On top of that, having another breakout. Hoping it can go up to some nice new levels, though, because it has been doing great for the portfolio. Feel like I should have been buying more, but it's already kind of gone off away from me. A few other ones that are moving up today are Siacon, GRT. We talked about GRT a little bit more. It looks like it was able to break out. Render, you guys brought this more to my attention over the last few days. Still doing very, very good. And then WLD is up a little bit. Fetch AI, some of these AI tokens, or these, futuristic tokens, if you will, seem to be doing fine. As far as the stuff that's not doing good, Stacks, LDO, Stark, Ron, SEI, Matic isn't doing too hot, coming down from $1. Flare, and a few other ones, Arbitrum, some of that. But overall, I think the market's pretty much just gone. Your portfolios are probably just more sideways, if anything, here. Even though Bitcoin looks like it wants to continue coming down, these altcoins, I've seen this Bitcoin chart has been just finding an opportunity to just go parabolic every single time it can. And, until that cycle breaks, I'm not even going to think about shorting. But I'm not going to be buying here. I'm not buying this dip. Altcoins, yes, I am dollar cost averaging even more, but I'm not going crazy with buying Bitcoin and things of that nature. Okay. All right, let's get out of here very fast. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, man, get your beauty rest. I'm trying to get my beauty rest. Dude, it's just that I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm overstimulated because I spend, most of my day on my computer. Even if I'm going outside and walking with Loki, I'm kind of hyper focused on making sure Loki doesn't like lick up something or touch something he's not supposed to touch. I'm always kind of just very aware. And so I think I just need to pop some. I got melatonin on top of my fridge at this very moment. I have it. I just need to take that melatonin before I go to bed, put my phone down, no crypto, no charts in bed, no nothing, and I just pass out, and I think I'll be fine. Last night, freaking it was annoying as hell. So my sister's cat lives with me while my sister's at college in her freshman year before she, gets an apartment and whatnot. And the cat and Loki get along for the most part, but sometimes they just don't like each other. And so last night, for the first time, me and Loki were laying down together, in bed, because Loki sleeps on the bed. And then the cat came over for pets. And the cat's been liking me more and more and more because I'm like the person that's feeding her now. But normally the cat hasn't historically liked me all too much. Like, she's tolerated me. She walks by me, but she doesn't really acknowledge my presence. And maybe every now and again I can pet her and she'll purr and stuff. But usually she just kind of keeps to herself. And I'm like, cool, fine. But what ended up happening last night is I was just sleeping. And then all of a sudden I hear that the cat had jumped on the bed next to me and just plopped her butt right next to my face and was just like, yeah, I'm laying here now. And then Loki was like, what the heck is that? Why is she over here? She can't be on the bed. This is our bed. He didn't growl anything, but he pretty much just put his paw and he tried to push her off the bed. And I had to tell him no. And then I moved the cat off the bed, and then I made sure she has a little bed above my headboard. So imagine where I sleep. There's a back area, there's a top to that. She has a bed up there. So I thought she was going to sleep over there, but she was trying to sleep on the bed, which Loki was not appreciating. So that took me a little bit of time, but I don't know. I just don't know. I just need to get back on a sleep schedule, that's for sure. And another Wilder in the house. Always like to have more. Plus I call Wilder Studios most of the time. Did I remember you got, no, I did not get Jasmine coin. No. Hey GT, I did well in Jasmine. I thought it would never pump Evening Mike. It goes back to some of those tokens like we've talked about. We just have to buy and wait. But I literally am stretching myself thin on how many altcoins I'm trying to buy into right now. My budget has not been as large as I wanted to for this quarter, mostly because I've been expecting more dips to show up like we've been talking about, and I really haven't been able to do that. And I keep on thinking that maybe I want to do more vacations this year than I thought, and then I'm like, oh, that costs money, so maybe I shouldn't put as much money into altcoins because I already got so much in it. But what do you call? I'm happy it is having a nice pop, and people are making some decent money off of it at this point in time. Hey Walter, I'm 50% in XLM and 50% Doge. This is a good investment. I would definitely diversify more than just those two tokens. Both of them are solid picks if you ask me, but right now I'm in even just on this one Fairdisk account, I'm in over 41 different positions. Some are small, some are large, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to have a little bit of diversity, a little bit of even if for whatever reason those two don't work out, I'd like to have more in my portfolio. I like to own Bitcoin, I like to own Ethereum in some of those portfolios too. In this portfolio, I don't even think I own Ethereum. A, B, C, D, nope, go straight to F. I don't even own Ethereum in this portfolio, but I have in other portfolios. But yeah, it's just the way it is. But yeah, I like to have more diversification. And hey, Larry, nat gas is up 19%. Oh, that's nice to see. Let me just check this out very fast. Oh wow, look at that. Yeah. Oh, this is the daily chart. Here we go. It's definitely trying to have a little bit more of a pop. I hope it can sustain itself right now, because I was able to buy a little bit here only because you kept on reminding me of it. But I think actually I saw somebody on CNBC talk about this being a disaster, and yeah, it definitely needs to fix itself. Yeah, with a 1-to-4 split. Yeah, I'm hoping it really has a sustained upward move for a while to come here. Let's go over here to Bitcoin. And right now, guys, Bitcoin's pretty much just going sideways again, kind of consolidating. I'm hoping we don't have something more of an aggressive move later on tonight. This move started to happen around 9:30 at night my time, so that's kind of like, you know, midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. Let's see. And hey, Ed, it's just a breather that the market can't go straight up. Oh yeah, I mean, that's why people shouldn't be shaken out about this. I think of these moments, like if we do have a drop down to 48,000 or whatever, and ends up going down to 49,000, they're just extra opportunities to buy, but it just gives you a much cheaper opportunity. Because I felt like a lot of people were trying to buy altcoins last week, and the altcoins were kind of high. It's kind of hard to buy into those ones unless you may be doing a short-term swing trade, like a few days of holding, or maybe a day trade or something similar. But for those long-term trades, you definitely want to be a little bit more greedy here. And every time you see these altcoins taking their dips, I'm definitely there to buy some up. Oh, it's right here. Crypto Batman got popular on YouTube with a new name. You remember him, but he doesn't do Dogecoin live streams anymore. I remember Crypto Batman a little bit, but I don't really recall him. We're gonna watch this video in a little bit, but Crypto Batman. Oh, Goose Wayne. No, this is definitely. It could be him. Yeah, that could be Crypto Batman. Yeah, could be. Like I said, everybody, they have to find their own way in the YouTube world, and he probably wasn't too big on crypto. Yeah, he just went down the mainstream, you know. Nothing wrong with that. There's a template for this online if you guys want to try to do this. It's harder than it looks. You got to pay a lot of people to do this type of stuff. But yeah, it's all about personalities and stuff, it looks like. Best of luck to him. I don't know. I'm not a personality type of person that I have a personality, but I think it shines more when I'm in person and not so much while I'm streaming and stuff like that. That's kind of why I started to do my nice little cigar smokes and stuff, because I think it livens me up a little bit, or just gets me more in a casual discussion type of environment. And that's why I've been doing those daily kind of update videos. I'm just kind of talking, saying, hey, here's my thoughts going on. And maybe I am going to start going on making those videos a little bit longer, so maybe a little bit more ranty towards the end. But I'm going to try to see how that works out as far as average view duration, how long people are watching and stuff like that. Good evening, Ty. What's right here? The NVIDIA news didn't really seem to do anything. It's because we had a little bit of a sell-off yesterday, over the last few days, right? So if I go over here and I look at NVIDIA. So after hours, we had a little bit of a drop, then it became sky high. If we zoom out a little bit, we'll see that the high for NVIDIA is kind of around $746. $746. Right now it's at $735. We're pretty darn close to the high here. Not up there all the way, but we're pretty darn close. Right? What is that? Right there. I think we tapped right on that high, actually. Then we started to move back down. So NVIDIA's in a good spot. The big concern for a lot of investors out there, not even just people, just investors, is that, look at this. This is a little hot. It's pretty crazy. Like, I think NVIDIA is a great company. I'm not buying any NVIDIA. It's already run its course. I sold the majority of my NVIDIA during this consolidation phase over here, right? Tad too early. Trust me, I get it. But I didn't jump back in there with a lot of money saying, oh, wow, I got to keep on buying it. No. I moved some of that money over into Disney, some over into Amazon and things like that. And I was just fine. Like, I think I started this. I think I sold it right over here. It was right after an earnings report, I think. Yeah, like right over here. Like 483, nice earnings report. I sold a good chunk of it over here too, back in May. And it's definitely gone up higher. But, during that time, not everything's been perfect, but, I bought some Google, bought some Disney. Thank God Disney's had a little bit of a thing. I'm out of Disney. I sold about a couple days ago. I bought some more oil, but mostly I've been doubling down on PXD, seeing how that's going. I bought a little bit of Tesla, hoping that I can move a little bit up. It has not done anything at all. Target, bought some Target. That's been fine. And the last thing I think I bought besides your typical stuff is like Meta. That's been fine. But I'm not chasing Nvidia right now. I'm just not chasing it. It's a great company. A lot of stuff going well for it. I just can't bring myself to spend that much on a company that expensive, like valuation wise. It's incredibly expensive. Having an event will be nice. Blast off. Oh, it definitely will. IMX. I don't know what IMX is. That cryptocurrency or a, what do you call it? Yeah, it is a cryptocurrency. We haven't talked about this for a while. I mean, if you guys bought the breakout, looks like you guys were perfectly happy with it. Just broke out. It looks like it's doing fine here. Momentum is still on your side. It's having a little bit more trouble consolidating up here or so moving higher. I would say I'd be mostly scaled out of this position by now. Because what is this last one right here? Yeah, there's a little bit more upside, kind of around 383 it looks like. But, you know, if you bought the breakout, you're pretty happy with the results you've seen so far. Let me go to the daily chart. Right there, buy, breakout, and a change of character right here. You know, it's up around 66%. I'd be scaling a decent amount out, and then I'd basically be waiting for this consolidation to finish off and then rebuy back in after that next breakout. But it looks like this trade has mostly gone through. Let me see if I can find a Fibonacci level for you very fast just to see what's going on, and I move that out a little bit. Don't want to do that. So it looks like there's two actually I could check out. This one I'm not going to be the most happy with, but I'm just going to test it out nonetheless. This one goes back over here to 497. We're not going to worry about that one. That's a while away. Yeah, we're hitting it right here. A little bit of resistance around 365. And I think it might have hit that maybe earlier over the last couple days. Sorry. Move the smart money concepts into the MACD. Yeah, it came pretty close to it, and that's the resistance you guys are seeing right now. The reason I say scale out is because you could still actually break out above this and go higher. So that one's not too bad. So actually that worked out pretty well. The last one here was going to be the chart. This can go here to here to here. Trend changed. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Anything working out here? I don't like how it's not really looking good. A little bit better there. You have a little bit of resistance right here around 386. So you're starting to hit some walls, which I guess is why it's happening such a few bad days here. But overall, it's just in a scale out zone. You could expect it to maybe go higher, maybe up to 380 something. So, you know, right around here. And after that, it might actually have a pretty consistent pullback. And that pullback is going to be maybe another opportunity for you to buy more. Or more likely, you just want to wait for it to consolidate and have another breakout followed by some strong momentum. That'll really be an easier trade. But yeah, at this point in time, it still looks very good to me. If you're looking to hop into a trade, you probably would want to look for a breakout on maybe the 1-hour chart or the 2-hour chart. It would make your life a little bit easier. Oops, sorry, my phone was buzzing. Hey, good afternoon, Haram. Have a yard sale? I don't even know what a yard sale would do. I think that people in my neighborhood have had yard sales. I don't have much to sell. I'm not a guy that has a bunch of stuff, people. Like, the stuff I have is stuff I wouldn't sell. Like, it's like a nice TV, a nice sofa. When I don't want something, you know, I get a lot of it, and I'll usually just take it to the dump, or I'll just like say, okay, this is going to the trash can. You know, some people sell old forks and plates. I just throw plates and forks in the trash and just send them off. I don't know. I'm not somebody that's collected a lot of stuff over my life. Again, and probably part of that is because over the last few years, I've been wanting to leave the United States and move kind of abroad. So I think I just haven't been building up a large cache of things. Heck, when I moved to not Montana, when I used to live in Montana. When I moved to Panama, I am bringing 3 computer monitors, a computer, all the wires, camera, tripod, no lights. I'll get my own lights when I'm there. Keyboard equipment, all the YouTube equipment, like, you know, sound thing, headphones, microphones like this. Clothes, no blankets, Um, toys for Loki, like 1 or 2 because I'll buy more down there. But yeah, that's really gonna be it. It's gonna be pretty much like 2 suitcases, 1 suitcase full of clothes, 1 suitcase full of equipment. And then Loki, and he gets a toy or something like that. There's really not much I'm bringing. Now, I mean, I have technically, you can't see it here, but you've seen it a few weeks ago before I switched this up. I got this 75-inch TV. I got a 77-inch TV in there. Upstairs, I got smaller TVs in case I want to watch TV, but I haven't turned those on. I don't think in like 2 months or something. But yeah, I don't necessarily own the most. Like if somebody broke into my place, they would be looking for my computer equipment or my YouTube equipment. They wouldn't necessarily be finding anything like, oh, look at this man. He has like a whole bunch of jewelry stashed up, a whole bunch of fancy watches. I don't I don't really spend my money on much. Most of my money goes towards vacations and saving it, and then just chilling, nice dinners, stuff like that. The nice life. All of these AI plays are rocketing right now. Most of them are doing pretty well. It'll be interesting to see how the market reacts to Nvidia tomorrow. So if Nvidia starts to go up even higher, even if Bitcoin's going more sideways, I would expect a lot of these tokens like AGIX and NMR and Fetch to all be moving up much higher. Because again, we bought into these quite a bit of time ago. So if I go over here to Fetch, like this is the weekly chart. So we bought on the bottom before the breakout there, and it's doing fine. But at a certain point, you're gonna want to scale out of this. I'm not scaling out because I'm a long-term holder. And originally, I actually bought this back over here in October, but I bought a lot of stuff in October. So, I just ended up putting the money back in here, and it's still doing fine. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is just going parabolic. This is Fetch. The other one that's up right now is what, AGIX. Another one right here, bought down low. October was back over here before that last pop. But again, Bitcoin was popping right then. And then boom, some really nice results, you're seeing some really nice profit there. But man, I don't feel like buying anymore. I don't feel like buying anymore. I just feel like let it do its thing, because the market cap is getting kind of high, of course, there as well. And hey, Ty, do you know about the Bitcoin spot ETFs and how we should be thinking about it? Is it buying a few stocks instead of just one? It typically depends on the ETF, but like here, if I go to an easy way to kind of figure out what you're looking for here with the ETF is to go to each individual website and kind of just like scroll around and have fun with it. So there we go. Let's go right here. This is the big one, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Accept all, fine. So what is Bitcoin about it? Build a practice, get started, yada yada yada. What is Coinbase? Oh, this whole thing is meant for teaching and teaching. Let's move down. Can I find? Maybe this one will take us there. No, I don't see much here besides this one. Okay, it's fine. Well, basically, what this one's going to tell you is basically it's the iShares Bitcoin Trust. They're going to be. Oh, actually, I think I actually just saw that. I know I just saw something. Net of assets. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it'll have this holdings section. I don't know why I'm freaking blind today. There you go. And it'll have these holdings. Now, most of the Bitcoin spot ETFs are, well, all of them are going to just have Bitcoin and cash. That's basically it. Bitcoin, cash. There are other ETFs out there, but you know, if Bitcoin goes up 5%, the ETF should go up 5% as well. It's not like it's following Coinbase or something like that. There are different ETFs that hold that. Well, let me see how much Bitcoin they have. So they own market value. Oh wow, look how much the market value has gone up. 66,000. Now they own 122. They've doubled their amount of Bitcoin. That is insane. All right, but yeah, as Bitcoin goes, so will the ETFs. If you're looking for something that maybe has like a Coinbase or something else in there, typically you will just go to maybe ChatGPT, or they have like a lot of plugins, or you can see, you know, top ETFs that own Coinbase. And then, you know, if you want exposure outside of just following the actual Bitcoin price, you can go there. Like here's the ARK one, VO, VFX. Typically, you know, I just prefer to own the Bitcoin itself, not even the Bitcoin spot ETF and stuff. But if you have like a stock market account, like on TD Ameritrade or something, and you just can't buy Bitcoin, and you want to have access to it, you know, these Bitcoin spot ETFs are a pretty good way to do it. They do charge fees, and those fees you can find easily by going through those the website. They try not to to hide them, I don't think. Oh geez, I'm not liking this zoomed in mode. Distribution. Premium discount negative 4%. Oh, Jesus. Sponsor fee 0.25%. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not paying attention. There you go. Give it to Goodwill. I don't like going to Goodwill. I'm not really a people person. I don't like to, like, it's an inconvenience if I have to go somewhere and talk to people. Like, not always, but usually when it comes to a store, it's a store. When it comes to a store, I don't typically like to go shopping. I haven't bought in groceries in like quite a minute. The only place I really buy stuff is like a meat shop. Besides that, it's Instacart. You know? If I go out walking Loki at the park or at the waterfront or something, I talk to people all the time. I don't mind it. I'm happy with it. But talking to people at stores and at the places of work, I've just never enjoyed it. Unless I'm choosing to go shopping for something I like. Even then, I don't like it. It's very, I'm not a, I'm weird. My next learning curve is DCAing and dollar cost averaging and getting a cold wallet. Those aren't too hard of the things to do. It's mostly just making sure that you have a budget and that you don't go off of that budget. Some people get really excited and they try to buy more than they're used to. You really have to just do a few bucks here, a few bucks there. You know, make it $10 a week, $50 a week, whatever is appropriate. But you shouldn't ever be like, you know, now I can't go out to eat at all this week, or I can't go out to a restaurant with my friends or get drinks because I invested, you know, this amount of money into Bitcoin. You still want to make sure your quality of life is still strong. That way you can stay on the path for a good amount of time, because long term it's going to be great. You know, you don't want to make it feel like it's a bad. You want to do it and be happy about it. You don't want to be like, oh no, I'm reluctantly putting money into Bitcoin. You really got to understand that what you're doing with it. Do I think there'll be a dump before the halving or after the halving? I feel like I've heard both. I just trust your opinion way more than other YouTubers. Well, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. The way the market's rolling on right now, we could see something of a smaller dip before the halving, but I don't think it'd be nothing catastrophic unless the overall stock market, we start to have some bad news with like earnings reports this week, which is very bad, or something next few weeks are just really bad, which doesn't seem to be the case, obviously, with Nvidia kind of going crazy. I would probably expect it to happen afterwards, just because I don't expect inflation to go down as easily as I guess the Fed wants it to. And so once the Fed causes a little bit of panic, you know, I think then we'll see the market have a meaningful pullback, maybe like, you know, 20% or something, maybe 30% if we're really lucky. And then from there, it'll just shoot up. But there's not really much stuff breaking down at this point in time. You know, when you think about the entire market, there are some fears that banks are going to have some issues because the loan program is ending. The loan program that was set up to deal with the aftermath of like the banks going down, like Silicon Valley Bank and etc. Silicon Valley Bank, etc. Commercial real estate having some issues, potential recession risks for other parts of the world. You know, there are issues out there, but they really haven't risen to the level that I think people are really going to be concerned. Like there are flashing signs every now and again, like people a record credit card debt. People are like literally like delinquency rates are climbing at a not a good pace. So there are signs, but until shit hits the fan, I don't think we're there just yet. I would say it probably comes after the halving, especially since it's so close, right? It's what, 60 days away. I would expect a smaller drop sometime in maybe March, but if you're thinking about something larger where you can buy up a lot, I'd probably assume it's going to be happening more in May or June, right before the summer kicks off. And that's kind of my thesis there, because, from a technical perspective, I guess it's better to say this. This is the weekly chart. We're still fine. Even if we drop back down to like $42,000, we're still fine. In the scheme of things, we're still fine. That's the worst I could see happening over the next like couple months. But like if we have a worsening economy where the whole market as a whole is having some really bad months, like a few months of just really bad news, then we come all the way back down here to like the mid 30s, and then we have a larger move. I'm always so skeptical about saying coming back down to 35,000, 30,000 levels like that, because come on, in reality, we're in a very nice uptrend. This is a bull market. It's going to take something drastic, and we can't really say that anything drastic is going to happen just yet. The market wouldn't indicate that as of yet. I would say, let's say we consolidate for a few months, and it's coming more into June. There is a chance that if we don't really do much over the next few months and things are kind of more muted and we calm down for like maybe 2 months, there is a chance we start having some death crosses between the 20 and the 50-week moving averages. That could really take us back down to maybe 40,000 to 38,000, 37,000, something along those lines. But it just seems so unlikely now. Back up here a little bit. We still have our support level right here around 48,460. Let's just call it 48,500. That's going to be the real level for bears. If you're really bearish, you want to see us come down below that. That signals a larger move to the downside. But oscillators aren't even there yet. Oscillators are still bullish, 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 bullish. Last time we had bearish signals was, oh geez, it was right here. Last time we had bearish signals right here. And that was all the way back in July of 2023. Ever since October, we've been in bullish oscillator territory where you're just looking to buy. Right? Even over here when we had these wild dips and stuff, that wasn't even bearish as far as the weekly charts were concerned. The daily, yeah, but the weekly, that's pretty much what you're waiting for. And to have something of a more bearish move here, it wouldn't happen this month. It would probably happen sometime in March. Doesn't mean we can't drop down to like $48,000 now. Don't get me wrong, 48,000 is pretty much just like right here in the scheme of things. But as far as a sustained multi-week month drop, it's gonna take a while. And this one didn't necessarily like lead to a long drop. The drop lasted for about since the bearish. We probably made new lows in the weekly charts for like 28 days. So what is that? Yeah, I mean like what, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 4 or 5 weeks. Wasn't that bad at all. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Sometimes it can be a little bit worse, but we haven't had everything. Here we had a little bit, but again, that hit right against the support level and we just bounced right off of it. Bearish right here, came down. Bearish right here, came down, of course, but we're more in this type of territory where we've had a pretty good run up. We're not at all-time highs, but we're close. You see how we have a change of character plus a whole bunch of selling stuff, like everything is saying sell right here. We dip down. If anything, it'd be something like this. when did it start? Right here. So like here to maybe here-ish, right? Remember, this was COVID. We don't count that. We could sell it and we go higher. It's something more like that probably is going to happen, not something like this. And we don't really have too many examples of this because honestly, institutional money is like fucking everything up as far as technicals, and there was way less retail traders back in these days. But I think you get my point, that we're most likely looking at something of a longer downward move. It may last for a while, but it's not going to be something catastrophic. Even with the COVID here, it dropped us down to like 3,800. The lows over here were 3,100. We didn't really have the same type of run up that we just had now, where it was parabolic. Really, this move we're seeing right now is crazy, all because of some of the institutional money coming in here and the amount of Bitcoin they have to own in order to actually do the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Let me go right here. Like this drop, I don't know, not really much math behind it. It was around 33%. If you want to take that, maybe we have a death cross over here. Not death cross. Maybe we go bearish or something. And that maybe happens somewhere around like $48,000 something. That means we would drop back down here to maybe 33,000, kind of that low edge that we were talking about before, maybe this level. But to me, again, we've ripped so high, we have so much institutional money, I don't think we're coming back down that much. Something more realistic above the 40,000 seems to be fine. If things get bad, we have bad economic data plus bad technicals, then yeah, we'll go down to the 30s. It's a possible. Not likely, it's possible. But definitely not likely at this point. I'm still trying to watch the economic data and see what happens, but I'm still, I'm one of those YouTubers that's not going to say it's impossible. It's definitely possible with the way the economy can kind of shake here. But I think lucky for us, like Jerome Powell, he's a very political animal. Most of these new bureaucrats that we're seeing over the past few years, the ones that have kind of been on TV more and more, they are very political savvy. They know how to play the game. Jerome Powell definitely does not want Trump back in the White House, so he is going to cut rates, even if it does lead to maybe a little bit of a higher inflation in the short term. He wants to keep his job. So an election year will kind of help that, and they're going to try to do whatever they can to kind of stabilize the economy and get things booming as much as they can. Part of that is that stimulus bill. They're trying to inject another like $100-something billion into the defense economy. That's all stimulus. It's not like all of the money we're sending to Ukraine. It's not like all of it goes straight to their coffers. A lot of it gets pushed right into the industrial complex to make more weapons, make more arms, and things of that nature, which is going to be, if we don't keep pumping that money in there, there'll be consequences basically for like that part of the economy, if that makes sense. Not saying like for it or against it. I don't really like the Ukraine aid myself, but I can be an outlier out there. But again, there's still a lot of stimulus. That stimulus is quickly drying up. I was wondering if it was smarter to buy Bitcoin than the ETF. For me, I like to buy Bitcoin because I like to own it. I wanted to have it. I can easily move it between wallets, which is very easy. And basically, as I move abroad and I go out places, it's nice just to own the Bitcoin instead of the US dollar. It'll all go back to the US dollar, don't get me wrong, but something about owning Bitcoin gives me a little bit more safety and security than just trusting the, whatever exchange I'm buying it on, whether it's a Robinhood or what other ones out there, TD Ameritrade, Schwab, or Schwab just bought TD Ameritrade, but E-Trade, Fidelity, that type of stuff. I'd say holding Bitcoin is like 1,000 times better, just because you absolutely own it. You can keep it. If you're somebody that doesn't like to hold crypto assets or don't like to do wallets and stuff like that, you can just buy the spot Bitcoin ETF if you want to. But typically, it's nice to hold it, buy it, own it, and have it in your own personal wallet. Because technically, even if you have it on an exchange, it's not actually your cryptocurrency, which is why so many people have been getting, all the different wallets that are out there. I'm not even going to describe. There's so many wallets these days. I was supposed to do a review for a crypto wallet for you guys from a company called CypherRock. They sent it over, and I was trying to test it out, and it just did not work. And like, it did not work. And I was just so ticked off. I just gave up on it. I just, because at a certain point, you're like, well, it's causing me this much trouble. How could I even recommend it to you? It was bad. It was bad. Anyway, though, it's nicer, I would say, to own it. But most people don't put their crypto on cold wallets and cold storage, which I would say you guys should. Really, where it becomes a problem is not now, not really right now is where the issues come into play. It's when we hit a bear market and the world is collapsing, and that's when you see a lot of damage, a lot of carnage happening, and just exchanges that don't have a lot of liquidity, they go down in flames. I'm thinking right now we have a little bit more regulation, so the exchanges that are allowed in America, I feel like they've done enough to prove to the government and the SEC that, hey, if Bitcoin were to drop, to $20,000 over the next, few quarters, our exchange would be perfectly fine. We could handle all of that, and we'd be okay. And the ones that can't, or the ones that aren't willing to open up their hood in order to prove it, I think are some of the ones that aren't able to stay in the United States, unfortunately. So it's kind of this weird thing going on right now. But you don't have to worry about the owning your crypto as much right now. Although I would say it's a pretty good habit to just be able to buy spot crypto, withdraw it, or move it over to a wallet. Makes it a little bit easier for your mental sanity as you start to hold more and more cryptocurrency. See, I was gonna give my wife some money to get in the ETF if it was worth it. She has like a 501(b), and let's just buying Bitcoin is the better way. If you want to like do it and actually have it in the 501(b), might as well just do it there. It's not gonna hurt. Like if your wife doesn't know much about wallets and stuff like that, it's probably best just not to go that route unless you want to like specifically teach her everything about them. Have the wallet. If you guys have a safety security box, or you guys have a safe place to put it there. But if you guys maybe lose certain things every now and again, you don't want to lose half a Bitcoin or a tenth of a Bitcoin or a hundredth of a Bitcoin. You don't want to lose it. So sometimes it's just left to kind of sit in that vehicle and just kind of watch it, if you will. It's not too hard to learn about them, but you just have to have time. Some people just don't have time. I can totally understand that. But if you do have time, probably best to go with the wallet. But if she doesn't want to deal with it, like it doesn't feel like you have to convince her. If she doesn't want to deal with it, just the money for the spot Bitcoin ETF will be perfectly fine. The BlackRock one seems to be the best right now. I think the Grayscale one is probably something you probably don't want to go into. It's not like terrible, but it doesn't be doing that. It seems to have higher fees. Maybe the ARK Invest one seems to be fine. But any of those will be fine. And hey, Tyler, all I do is work, so I dropped 3K in one day on like 9 different positions. I mean, yeah, what do you call it? It happens. I've done it before myself, especially on some of those worst days. But yeah, nothing bad about it. If you got the money and you're looking to invest, it's still a great time to invest right now. You're basically just having to wait until Bitcoin hits all-time highs in the altcoin season, and you'll be very happy with the results. It's just that when you invest in stuff like this, it's not like with a certainty you can be like, hey, Bitcoin's going up in a few weeks, like now's time to buy, or Bitcoin's going up in a month or two, now is the time to buy. It's like, okay, I'm buying, and I'm patiently waiting. I can get some advice from Michael saying, oh yeah, there's a larger move coming for the next few weeks, or the next few months. But really, when the parabolic stuff starts, it starts so abruptly that you're glad you have anything at all, because everything from then on is playing catch up. And usually during that time, you're not really buying all too much. You're hitting your personal scale out levels for your longer term positions, and that's leading the new people who are buying in. They're like, oh my god, Bitcoin's at $100,000, I have to buy. You are practically using them as your exit liquidity, and that's a practical way to think about it. Because at a certain point, we've all been exit liquidity if we've all kind of bought in towards all-time highs because we've just been so excited to buy them. Nowadays, it's just like, because this has been my first bear market cycle with you guys to kind of say like, hey, I'm I'm buying some here, I'm buying some here. I started to buy Bitcoin, remember when it was at 69,000? I started buying it around 25,000, then 22,000, then 20,000. Yeah, I started buying it up high. And now in hindsight, now that Bitcoin from way back over there when I started to buy back at 26,000, now it's perfectly fine. You know, it's almost doubled in value. But how long did that take? It took a long time. Right now, my averages for the last bear market cycle are something around like maybe $20,000, maybe like $18,000, somewhere in between there. And I'm perfectly happy with it because in the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin's probably going to go above $100,000. So again, that's a great cycle. And you know, more often than not, I'm really making more money off of my altcoins. But Bitcoin is that big stabilizing force. So while my altcoins are going all over the fucking place, going down 20%, down 80%, up 60%, up 1,000%, whatever, Bitcoin's there to kind of hold everything together. Be like, okay, Bitcoin's there, Ethereum's there, altcoins. You go do your mad wild stuff, and we'll see what what happens next. Let's see. Where am I planning on going? Oh, I'm planning on moving to Panama. I've been looking at apartments. I've been showing you guys those for a while. Here, let me. There we go. Oh, it feels. My posture is so bad, so when I do sit up straight, it just feels so awkward. I used to work corporate, so I used to sit like this all the time, but it's too formal. Oh, geez, yeah. Oh, how many people have I fired from sitting like that? Oh, it's so weird. Like there's a. Here, I'll show you. Stuff like this. So I'm looking up for like apartments, lofts, and penthouses. Penthouses, I might be getting kind of ahead of myself because I don't think I want to spend a whole bunch of money on rent. But if I go over here to apartments, because I haven't been able to find a good house, I'm searching for one, but it's not easy. If I want to find a house, I literally have to go down there and search. So I mean, the first month I'm down there with Loki, we're living in an Airbnb or some type of short-term thing for a month, and I'm looking for houses. But I want a nice house. I don't want a cheap house. I want a nice house that I'm probably paying like $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and that's in Panama where things are supposed to be a little bit cheaper. But here, like a size, let's go $1,500 budget. Like right here. I think this is what I'm going for. I think, I don't know. See, I'm conflicted. So there are these lofts right here. There's a loft that has 1 bedroom and 1 bath, 1,830 square feet. So like, almost a little less than 2,000 square feet. But when I look at this, I kind of want a live-in maid. And I'm thinking that maybe when I live there for the first year, maybe I don't have a live-in maid. Maybe I just do everything myself and I have a cleaning lady come every other day for like 3 hours or something, and that'll probably cost me like $20, $60 a week maybe, which is pretty darn good, right? And so everything will stay clean, and then eventually once I find a house I like around, then I'll be fine. But I'm being very picky because I do not want a balcony. I do not want a balcony because I don't want to have to think about Loki jumping off a fucking condo. But you see, it's a nice condo, nice, right? Nice. Jesus, how many kitchen photos am I gonna have? Sofas, everything's furnished, everything comes in there with it. Right? Microwaves, whatever. It looks nice. Dude, where's the upstairs? This is all photos of the kitchen. They're very detailed with these photos. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, here we go. See, this second floor loft. The bathroom's kind of freaking me out. The bathroom has like a door for the shower and a door for the toilet. This reminds me of one of the Vegas places I like to go to. But yeah, so it's kind of simple. And this is kind of the lower end of what I've been looking at. If I want to go something a little bit more expensive, actually I think the price goes up to $2,000, not $1,500. There's this cool place called the YOLO. I think it's YOLO. Oh, it's called U. Okay, there we go. Unfurnished, not with the furnished one. So these 2-bedroom apartment, this is like the fancier version of it. but it's like, 1,900 square feet, and it's mostly you're paying for all the cool amenities that you have inside the building. So like if I go over here and I talk about Panama, I think they have a website. Yeah, I looked at it a while ago. So basically, I don't know why it's loading. Oh, okay. Apartments. Yeah, nice apartments. Everything looks fine, cool. I'm happy with it. Good views of the water. Amenities though, look at that. Look at that pool on the top floor. That's pretty snazzy. So if I wanted to go with a little bit of a luxury, I'm thinking of this place right here. I'm just not sure if I want to pay for luxury or not. $2,000 a month is not crazy. But I do want to just save a lot more money while I'm down there. See, I don't know. What do you call? Look at these services. 24/7 bilingual concierge. They have room service, valet parking, breakfast service in the lobby, and room service. Food and beverages at the pool, coffee and hydration station in the lobby, pool and gym, towel service in the gym, squash court, and yoga area, restaurants and supermarket in the commercial area, hairdressing salon, lobby, reading room, swimming pool for adults and children, kids club, gymnasium, spa, events room, poker room, squash courts, activity room. Like, damn, like that is giving me everything I'd ever want. And when I think about how much a gym membership costs, everything else, I'm like, ooh, the drinks aren't free at the bar and all that type of stuff. But man, when I say it's gaining on me, I want to see these rooms and see how they are. I'm gonna take a tour of these rooms when I go visit them in December. I'm going to Panama in December to go visit. What am I doing? Oh, there you go. But yeah, I'm excited to move down there. Really excited to move down there. To me. Oh, and thanks, Ty. I appreciate it. Wait, so I should like Jerome? What do you mean about liking Jerome? Are you sticking with American companies or moving investments out of the country? I've been moving some investments out. So right now, Japan's been doing some interesting stuff because, Jesus, they're technically in a recession, but I'm pretty sure the market technicals are like, you just want to be invested in them. That's what it feels like right now. Now, as far as everywhere else, I'm investing in Latin America a little bit. I'm still thinking that the world is going to have a slowdown, so I haven't been necessarily going heavy. But for dollar cost averaging, Latin America's been fine. I've been looking for a few Argentinians exposure just because I'm hoping that Malay, the lion dude, I'm hoping that he can turn around their economy and it'll stabilize stuff for more investment to come in. And as that investment comes in, it just kind of inflates everything and makes it go up a little bit better. Inflate. But, makes things go a little bit better. I'm not really exposed to Europe all too much. I'm not really a big fan of Europe. I feel more excited about Africa than Europe, honestly. But Africa, I'm going into their minerals and industry. I'm hoping they can kind of expand their oil is fine, but oil is, it's mostly U.S. companies all over the freaking planet. But yeah, I think as far as Europe is concerned, I've been trying to find some exposure to their AI market. I've been hitting a few walls as far as stuff I really like. But I think if I do some more fundamentals, look through some more earnings reports, maybe some 10K reports, I may be able to find some better stuff. But it's mostly their AI that I'm thinking of. I don't think Europe is going to be a manufacturing hub. I think a lot of the manufacturing jobs are going to be lost over the next couple decades. I'm really trying to use this opportunity where they're in a little bit more turmoil with the Russia-Ukraine war and stuff like that to really see where are these high net worth jobs, if that makes sense. They're they're futuristic jobs. There's a word for it. It's just escaping my head. They're future tech jobs. Let's just call them that. DCA is king. Yes, it is. Discount killer. It's been good for us for a while. But when we start DCAing and we're starting to buy at 26,000, it goes to 24,000, it goes to 20,000, it goes to 18, 16, 15. It can be very brutal. But in times like this, we're not even freaking out anymore. We're just like, okay, even if Bitcoin dropped to 45,000 over the next month, I'm like, I'm still up. You know what I mean? It's nice. Um, I dozed less than $1, but didn't know what I was doing and sold at $7 way after it spiked because I didn't know about the dips and the bull runs. Oh, I see. So you bought like $1 with a Dogecoin. Yeah, I mean it's okay. It isn't really. It's something that we all learn when it comes to the cycles. At least now you know kind of when to sell, when to buy, the kind of general idea of what I like to do. I think everybody has their own things, but for me, it's I'm happy to get out early and with a lot of profit. And I'll scale out happily. And then every now and again I get lucky and I sell at the top, but usually I don't sell at the top. I sell 10 to 20% before the top hits, and I'm still just very happy with it. Because typically I sell after the all-time high has already been reached, so it's come down a little bit, and we're like, oh, will it keep on going up? Will it keep on going up? No, I'm like, no, probably not. Let's sell a good chunk here. Was El Salvador an option? It was an option, but my grandparents kind of freaked out a little bit too much about it. So I was like, okay, let me try this one. I was thinking about Ecuador too. And Panama seems to be a nice, safe place where I could have friends and family visit me. Actually, El Salvador is very safe. But Panama just seemed like they themselves would be okay. Like I could have friends over and they wouldn't be freaking out at everything. It's a safe space for expats. It's kind of a weird way to show it. Like if I go over here to Panama City, Panama Mall, Albrook Mall. Can I show you that? Does it look okay? They got your normal malls. These malls are nicer than the malls by me in America, in Tacoma, Washington. Right? Nice malls, lots of color, cool stuff. They have another mall up towards the top. This one's another nice mall. Right? Big tree, nice hallways, whatever, shopping. You get what I'm saying. It's very well developed, and I think my family, like grandparents and whatnot, they would be okay with coming down to visit me because they want to they still want to be part of my life when I'm not in the States. My sister, she'll visit me whenever she wants to. I'll pay for her to have as many visits as she wants to come chill out in Panama. But she'll be stuck in school and studying and stuff like that. So if she wants to come down for a month in the summer, she can come down for a month in the summer. But I think Panama is just like the nice, safe choice. And I do enjoy Panama. They have a lot of good food, restaurants like any Latin American country. But there's a nice vibe there as well, which I really like. And, a lot of expats, nice banking center, that typical stuff. And they tell that's only $15 a month. Yeah, what do you call do they have a lot of dogs though? Oh yeah. $1,500 a month. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty darn cheap. It's very very cheap. If you come over here to Seattle, even Tacoma, you go over to if you want to live in the downtown area, nice little green area on top. I kind of like that. You're gonna be paying about on the low end $1,300 for 370 square feet. 1,300 for 370 square feet. That is very, 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 very tiny. Right? So if I go over here to Panama, and let me just do this very fast, go back to that extension. This one is a loft with a better view, right? For $1,400, and I get 1,800 square feet. So much, much different. But for me, typically, like here, let's go $2,000. Let's say I just want to get something that has a view of the water. This is typically more of what you'll see with the higher end prices. More options. There you go. Exterior. Like I want to have an ocean view and it be ocean front. Okay. And something's not right. Oh, I said $200, not $2,000. That'll do it. Okay. So now, this is unfurnished right here. Oh, remember, and these are furnished. These are furnished. But if I want to have a cheaper one that's not furnished, it's still pretty nice. Look at this. Lots of open areas. This one is 2,400 square feet. Let's see. I don't like this one because the hell is going on? There you go. Okay. Is there a view in here at all? No, I can't find the view. It might not actually even have a nice view if they're not showing it on the thing. This one's one at the Yacht Club Tower. Is that what it says? Yacht Club Tower. This is $2,000. And so $2,000 over here. If I can find one. I'm still in the studios. Is there a 2001 here? No, there's no 2001. The most expensive one looks to be like $1,700. Ooh, $1,700 for 626 square feet. Isn't that just the most depressing thing? Oh, here's one. Okay. So one bedroom. There we go. One bedroom, $2,000 for 819 square feet. Non-furnished. This one is... Oh, I think I already opened it up. This one is $2,000, not for 700 square feet, but for 2,400 square feet. Comes with 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, 1 parking spot, and you get a parking spot on top of it. And it's furnished, so you go through here, kind of enjoy the walkway, whatever, I've never been a big fan of columns, but I think just a lot of the newer buildings have it for earthquakes and stuff. Perhaps, I don't know. But it comes furnished. I don't have to buy anything. It's there. I could just be me, myself, and I eating at a dining room table. But a decent kitchen. I think it's fine. It looks nice. There's a bed. There's mattress. There's a balcony right there. I don't want a balcony. Told you guys all about that. I think Loki would be perfectly fine with the balcony, but I don't want to test it. A nice bathtub, bathroom. There's a shower over here. It looks like too. Another bedroom in here with another view of the water. The view from the balcony is pretty darn nice, I would have to say. A rooftop pool that also looks really nice. So, you get a lot more for your money down here, that's for sure. But I don't want to really try to spend too much. That's why I try to have my budget be around $1,500, but it keeps on moving up close to $1,000 because I want to have a touch of luxury with it. Because, I want to feel comfortable there until I find a house. I'm not buying a house, just, renting a house. But if you go over here and you look for houses, these are not houses. Okay, the website might be kind of glitched out because these are all condos. Well, wherever you are is your home, probably what they're going for. But yeah, you get my point there. The El Salvador-Honduras border is a freaking circus, scary stuff. I don't think I've ever been up to the Honduran border before. I've been over to El Salvador a few times. I don't remember going to the Honduran border side, probably because something was going on. And hey, Ty, Drum, yeah. Drum definitely wants to keep his job. Trump said I think he's gonna fire him if he becomes president again. If he can fire him, there's gonna be some procedural stuff in there. I was shocked to see how developed Thailand's getting. Thailand's really big. Bali's really big. A lot of places over there in Asia are just booming because there's a lot of people that live in Singapore. They're like, I don't want to pay for this cheap rent. Let me do the 30-minute flight, and I'll be in or like an hour flight, and I'll be in a beautiful house. And some people commute daily, like people from the people that commute sometimes on airplanes, all that. Dude, just get yourself a nice mansion in one of those countries and just fly out to work. Oh my God, it seems amazing. What made you move from Montana? Hello. Coming back to help my mom when she was sick. I liked Montana, but there was a lack of things to do. That was probably one of the big things. And there was a lack of work, I wanted to have a nice corporate job that made things cushy and nice for me before I started doing YouTube. And there was no real nice, fancy, cushy jobs in Montana. Most of them were service jobs for the college town. maybe some mountain and engineering type jobs for, you know, like outdoor type of companies, like mineral companies. But there wasn't really much out there. Maybe oil, something like that. But not really much out there. Most of the jobs, if they did there, if for the marketing guy, I wouldn't be in Montana. I'd be moved over to the Seattle office or the Miami office or the New York office, you know. 1,500 is where I'm at. Piffed maybe a nice house trailer. I know, right? It's things are just so expensive these days. And I used to think I wanted to buy a nice house out here and just kind of live the American dream. But you know what? It's expensive, and I have enough money to afford it. But I just know it's so much better. And I feel like, which weird, I feel like by staying in America, I'm settling. Because we have this luxury as Americans by getting paid in the US dollar, you know? And the dollar goes very far in other places. It just doesn't seem to go as far in America. And so, you know, again, I showed you some of the places for like $1,500. I can get like 700 square feet near me. And so, but by just going into Panama and other places, you know, like here, let me show you this. Let's go back to that $1,500 max. You know, let's get out of the house ones. For the size, you know, if I wanted an unfurnished apartment, 2,400 square feet for $1,500, or more realistically, these lofts. These lofts are kind of what I'm looking at here. But, you know, even if you didn't want to go through one of these 3 lofts here, there's other options. This one's 1,500 square feet for $450, $1,450, excuse me. This one has a view of the water. Coco del Mar, I don't know, but that might not. Oh, that isn't Panama City. Okay. Let me see. Anything else here? Because you can always go, let's go for the cheaper side. So if you guys, you know, if you guys want a fancy place, but you guys don't want to have a massive place, you know, nice but not fancy, waterfront view, 1,100, furnished, 1,076 square feet, 1 bed, 1 bath, just for you, yourself, you know. And then you get stuff like this. Comes with a TV, cable, internet, all of that stuff's included. Electricity. Well, maybe not electricity and trash and stuff, but you know. Look at that. You get a view of another building, but you also get the view of the water. They take so many pictures, it drives me nuts. Look at that view. Palm trees right by the big avenue, safe area, waterfront. Nice bed with the view of the water from your bedroom. Oh, you wake up and you're like, oh, look at the good life, you know? So, you know, it's nice. That's pretty darn spacious. I don't know what the fuck is all over that, what do you call that? That oven. But again, for 1,100, you're living in a condo, nice area, and you don't have to pay HOA fees and stuff like that. It's beautiful. And the building has a gym, a barbecue area, a pool, a fancy lobby, and 24/7 security. You know, it's pretty darn nice. Pretty darn nice. Let me get all this stuff here. Yeah, it's pretty darn nice. Eye on my house, so more crypto. Don't sell the house for crypto. I've seen people do it before. Makes sense. Would you go back now that you're a YouTuber? Oh no, I don't like corporate work. So part of it is I'm actually pretty good at corporate work. I'm really good at the backstabbing corporate culture of mischief and people trying to like, you know, navigating that world. I'm not really a fan of it, but I know how to navigate it. Because after you get stabbed in the back so many times, you're just like, okay, I better set up some defenses of my own. But you know, YouTube allowed me in trading. It allowed me to probably spend more time with my mom before she passed. And then it also let me kind of get Loki, so I have a dog that I can, you know, play around with and have for quite a bit of time. You know, work soaked up so much of my life away. I would wake up around 5:30 every morning. I would, you know, get dressed and shower, head outside to the car by 6 a.m. You know, while trying to maybe bite a Pop-Tart or some shit. And then, drive over to catch the 6:20 morning train to Seattle. From there, I'd arrive at around 7:20, and I get to work maybe around 7:30, 7:40. And then, work started at 8 o'clock, so I had a little bit of time to chill. I'd make myself a cup of coffee. I'd head over to my office, and then, for the full day, I'd be just writing reports, talking to people, deciding if I needed to hire somebody, think about an event, figure out if I needed to travel to Portland, Oregon, or Idaho, or Alaska for work, kind of do all that type of stuff, do meetings, yada, 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 like the typical work stuff. And then after that, kind of around 5 to 5:30, I would go back to the train station. I would catch maybe the 6 o'clock train, something like that, and then I'd get back to the train station in Tacoma around 7 o'clock. Then I'd get back home maybe around 7:15 to 7:20. And so from 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night, I would be outside of my apartment in a work mode, and then I would play video games for a few hours, talk with a friend, maybe go grab some food. It's like money wasn't an issue for sure. And then you just kind of rinse and repeat it. You have a break on the weekends sometimes, but sometimes they say, hey, we need some work done. Can you help us? And I always say yes when that type of stuff, that question is asked. So it was a profitable time in my life. Not as profitable as now, I guess. But, when you're young out of college, you're looking for anything that kind of fits the lifestyle vibe, especially that allows you to stay in the downtown area with the waterfront view. You're going to grind for it. But no, it's like a soulless life, I only got to live from maybe 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, on average a day. On the weekends, I would probably go walking by myself along the waterfronts. Remember, I'm not so much of a social person. And then, every Sunday I had my mom visit me in my apartment. That was always nice. Mom and sister, it'd be a fun day. I'd buy everybody dinner or lunch, whatever anybody wanted to. Because again, corporate money is not an issue. And then, well, heck, I was still doing that after I was doing trading and stuff and YouTube. But then, Sunday's over, done seeing the family. Monday comes around and you're back at the grind. And again, maybe I didn't have the best atmosphere for work. It's like a toxic workplace, but I can thrive in a toxic workplace because I know how to maneuver people. I am very good at reading what I don't know what to call it. Microaggressions. I don't know no, it's not microaggressions. It's subtle movements in the face that you can see displeasure or joy or get some type of emotion from them. I tend to be very good at reading those during conversations or being a third or fourth party to conversations. And so when I see that, I can formulate a plan to use that to my advantage by making sure that the other person is, when I talk about the other person, I will reference back to that moment as something that I would say. I would try to frame it in a good way, knowing that deep inside they're not viewing that in a nice way. So lots of little things. It's like you can be good at it, but it's not good for your mental health to be part of it. But yeah, decent. It was interesting times for sure. Money was good. But besides that, life was like shit. And then Loki, yeah, definitely happy I got Loki. I would not have gotten Loki if I had a job because I wouldn't be able to see Loki except for between 8 o'clock at night and 5:30 in the morning, and most of it would be sleeping. And who would do that to the dog? Right? I got to be able to have fun with him all the time. Granted, this was 10 years ago. The thing with Panama City, there's an old town, new town. New town was a bunch of high rises that were basically vacant. They built these buildings but didn't have anyone to fill them. Maybe it changed. I still think they have a pretty okay rate. I wouldn't say they have a good occupancy rate of these places from what I've read so far. It's better, but it's not necessarily like crazy. Excuse me. That's why I think when you see a lot of those prices that I showed you, I can negotiate on those. I can negotiate. In America, you're not negotiating really. Over there, you get to negotiate. I'm not going to be paying the $1,400 or the $2,000. I'll knock off $100 or something like that, $200 off it. I can knock it off if I say, hey, I'll live in this for a full year or maybe 2 years. Doesn't matter. I can knock off quite a bit of that rent. Especially because there are certain things that I'm going to pay for myself and they're not going to pay for, like Wi-Fi. I'm not using whatever the generic Wi-Fi they have. I'm using a pretty high speed Wi-Fi that they have that will allow me to upload in 4K resolution, 60 frames per second. You guys are seeing 4K resolution with 30 frames per second. But I'm going to be, I'll have the best Wi-Fi I need to be able to stream and show you guys everything going on, because I also want to be doing other types of streaming besides just the charting stuff. On that cigar channel that I'll be working on this weekend, that'll also be doing some stuff. I'll be recording a little bit in there. Depending on how much extra money I have when it comes to the actual YouTube revenue I am bringing in, I may actually rent out a small studio office space in a nice building, and I may actually put some of my YouTube equipment there where I will have maybe a secondary camera, or I just may take the camera from point A to point B, and I will record myself over there and use it as a green screen studio. So like, it'll just be an office that's like completely empty except for a green screen studio and some lights. That's all I have. So I'm thinking about that as well, because I don't really want to make my house or my condo too much into my workspace. Right now, that's kind of fine. I'm okay with it. But besides streaming, I don't really want to do much else as far as the activity. Because what I'm hoping to do down the road in Panama is I'm hoping to have something more of a show. So this is like more of a bit boy show, something like that. Without the chaos and all that type of stuff, but more going over some technicals. So like, part of the show's technicals, some of the show is talking about new projects coming up. Some of them are talking about sector movers and things like, this sector's doing fine, this sector's not doing good, but a more quality production standard to it. Think of like what a Meet Kevin has almost, that kind of thing. And I think that'll be kind of fun, but I it's not going to be like what other people I think have done. It'll be more of a maybe Bloomberg and CNBC mix. And then on top of that, I will have different things maybe running on a 24/7 stream. So it may be that I just have a 24/7 Bitcoin news stream. And then maybe 5 hours out of every day, there'll be somebody talking on there, or 6 hours, whatever it is, talking about the news. It may be me, maybe somebody else, probably not me the whole time, like an hour slot for each person. This will be kind of a cool thing. I'll give jobs to local bilingual Panamanians who have pretty good English accents. I can't do the Hispanic accents because people will typically not respond well to them from what I've seen. Just like the psychological of it, they want to hear an American speak, and Americans have higher amounts of revenue, so the added revenue for Americans is much higher than those of Latin America. But that's like a process for like 2024, late 2024, maybe 2025 even, probably 2025, and that's kind of the way I'm rolling here. And then on the times when nobody's talking, it'll be a Bitcoin chart with some nice casual music kind of rolling, and then we'll pick it up from there more and more and more, because then there'll be people that, I'll have a journalist on. Think of like, there are tons of other like little podcasty news sources where like it'll be me, or it'll be one of the people on my channel. They'll be interviewing another person talking about, these types of like a random question like, hey, what do you think Bitcoin's going? Are there any tokens you're looking for? Or it could be something like, hey, something really technical when it comes to the United States and different regulation. We could have a lawyer on talking about the regulations and so forth. I was going to have a friend do that with you guys before, actually. I think it was back in late last year. But she moved to Michigan, I think, to go help out her family, deal with some stuff. I think her father was sick or something similar. And I haven't heard from her since. I haven't really pushed her on it because I didn't want to bug her, if the family's sick. So I'm going to try to figure that out down the road too. Actually, still have savings and a job, of course, but the idea of financial freedom is shrinking. I need this bull market to hit. Well, yeah, it's not going to get any better. It's just not. You really have to hold assets that go against the dollar, because the dollar is just not what you want to hold. America is not being run efficiently by either party. I know people usually D's and R's. That's fair. I get it. But like, if you have Democrats all the way in charge or Republicans all the way in charge, they haven't been able to unlatch themselves from special interest. And so there's enough of Republicans, there's enough Democrats to screw everything up. And what you see happening right now is extremists on both sides. You got like crazy liberals, crazy conservatives. And what makes it interesting, which I really find interesting, is I thought the Democratic liberals, like the AOCs and stuff, I've told you guys before, I thought they were going to be much more strong-willed to go up against their establishment for what they say is their beliefs, like universal health care, yada, 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 right? But they all kind of got bought off by Nancy Pelosi, which was very, very interesting. Nancy Pelosi, fucking genius over time with like manipulation and stuff, which you have to do if you want to get into anything in politics and that type of job. And then you saw Republicans, I don't know exactly what you call that wing of the party, but they went nuclear on Kevin McCarthy and it was like, suck it, you're out of here. And you know, you're seeing that happen more and more, I feel like. But right now, I guess, you know, Republicans control the House. The more of the narrative you hear from the news is mostly what's happening over there. But like, there's still not enough of either the liberals or the conservatives that, like, you know, will say to you something, they'll try to actually achieve it. You're not seeing many of those people out there, I think, these days in the news. That's why every now and again you hear that, like, far left liberals and far right conservatives, they can kind of agree on a few things. Like, I think Ocasio-Cortez and Matt Gaetz, who are like totally opposite on everything, they will agree on, hey, no more stocks being owned by congressmen and women. I think that's a great idea. You know, stop all this insider trading that we're seeing. So it's that type of stuff where they can kind of agree, but the middle, they're like, no. You know, so again, I don't think America is being run properly, but, you know, we're still America. We still have a lot of strengths at our bag. It's just that, you know, I'm like, well, to live here, it kind of sucks right now as far as the expensive costs, you know? So why not just go down there and relax and have a good time? Like, you can find any restaurant in Panama. Like, if I go over here to, let's see if I can show you this. Oh, restaurants. There we go. I think this is the nicer part of town. This is like the colonial part of town. A rooftop. Oh, yeah, look at that. A to Z Chef's Table. Oh, there's no website? Oh, there it is. Maybe this is a website? Oh, yeah. Okay. This isn't my type of food, I guess. It's a little fancy. Oh, it's prepaid. Oh, this is definitely not my place. But it's $129 a person. Like, they have, like, the good stuff, right? I was looking for a cheaper place, but I know I just said, hey, this is the expensive part of town, or the colonial part of town. Beauty and the Butcher? Dude, what is with all these themes? I wish Seattle had some of this theme. Oh, I guess I don't see. Okay, here you go. Menu. Here you go. Enchiladas. Oh, it's a salad. Okay, right. A classic hot dog, $6. That's pretty reasonable, lower end American prices, I would say, right? Restaurant Santa Rita. Oh, these are all high end restaurants. Okay, let me find like a nice cheaper restaurant because we already looked up a few of those prices. Those ones are going to be the same as America or even higher. Or it can't be higher because America, we're freaking over expensive, right? Oh, they're over here. Okay. Whatever this is. Whoa, those colors are something else. Right. Nope. 32 mixed platters. That's ribeye steak. Okay. Okay. No, this is pretty much American prices over here in Tacoma, Washington, even Seattle. $15, $18, $75 for premium pollo. Nope. I'm trying to find their cheap places. I'm still trying to figure out the lay of the land here. I guess I should probably look at for satellite. Okay, here we go. Restaurant La Fondita. There's a picture of the menu. Nope. That's as good of a menu as you're gonna have. Well, they have very cheap places as well as very expensive places. I wish America had some of those cheaper places. When I was growing up, again, I didn't have much money, so one of the things me and my mom did was we would make tamales and go sell them at the local soccer games, and that was a way to make money. Technically it wasn't legal because we didn't have the health permits and all that other type of stuff, but everybody kind of batted an eye, and that money would kind of help sustain you throughout the rough times of life. It's very hard to do a lot of that stuff nowadays, but you know what? I'm seeing a resurgence of it. I don't know if cops are turning a blind eye, or if the cops. I don't think the cops have the resources anymore to go after these people because of all the defund stuff. But I think I have started to see more of them. So like on the way home the other day, I decided to go a back way because I haven't taken the back way, the back roads back to my place in quite a bit of time. So what I did is, oh, forget, I won't show you, but what do you call it? I went through some back roads and stuff, and I saw outside of a nice established church, 5 or 6 little Mexican stands waiting for everybody to leave the big old Catholic church, or the big monumental Catholic church. So as everybody would go down to their cars, they could buy roasted corn, roasted chicken, and a whole bunch of stuff for pretty cheap prices. And I was like, damn, I think we're seeing a little bit of that same type of resurgence here. I've even seen there's a store. I guess it's not really close to me. It's close to when I lived in the ghetto. There's a store that closed down. It used to sell those really crazy, ugly clothes. Like it was like a Hollywood store or something. What used to happen is, the store's closed down, so that it has a big open parking lot. Maybe the parking lot the size of a dollar store, so not like massive, but pretty decently sized. And people have made that into a little bazaar area where you can buy food, clothes, toys, barbecue, Mexican food, whatever. And they start smoking meats like early in the morning, so at night when everybody's a little bit more lively, the meat's all done, the brisket's done. It's a pretty darn interesting experience. I haven't really put 2 and 2 together, but as the economy becomes more and more tough, you're seeing people just be like, well, fuck it, let's just go out there and make money the old-fashioned way by bartering, and I make something, you want it, come get it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to think about it like that. And hey, Raphael, if you got to go to bed, no worries about it. I'm hoping we can have a blow off the top. I didn't buy this dip here. I'm too kind of scared to see what happens next. But I'm just dollar cost averaging altcoins, and it's not even my schedule. I don't buy until tomorrow. Tomorrow's my schedule for dollar cost averaging. I recently hurt my back work since I was 14 as a workhorse. I am a little lost. Been studying trading for 2 years. Hopefully this is my niche. Yeah, just play it safe and don't go in too fast. This is definitely a long-term type of thing. If you want to have a really good chance of making money, longer-term trading is going to be the best way to do it, or swing trading it. We're not at a point where it's a big swing trading buy moment right now. We're kind of like, we already bought a lot. We're kind of grinding. I'll let you know when I get really hyped up for the next swing trade, though, but it's not going to be for maybe a few months at least, because Bitcoin's going to have to have a pullback and consolidate before I get really excited about it. I see you. Here, Loki wants to be seen. I know he doesn't have to use the bathroom because I just took him out to the bathroom before we started streaming. Oh, what you doing? You just enjoying yourself? Smacking people isn't the way to go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, did you get a toy? Oh, look at that. Oh, he's also mad because I took away that toy from before. Oh, can I have it? Can I have it? Thank you. Well, usually he tries to steal it, but he looks to be doing... Usually he tries to steal us, but I think he's doing okay now. Okay. Good boy. What happened? Oh, dropped it on my toe. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Yes, you're a good boy. He's spoiled as hell, but he's a really good guard dog, so he earns his keep around the house. Let's see. Oh, no, Sean, I haven't been down to Vancouver in a hot minute. I think because I haven't been down to Portland in a hot minute. I'm thinking of going down to. No, I'm not. I'm not doing much traveling actually for a minute here because my sister's still in college. Yeah, geez, I really don't get to go on many trips. I don't think until March, but that one's with my sister because I'm taking her somewhere nice for spring break. But I don't really have a free reign to travel much until the summer because I don't want to put Loki into a kennel. If I find somebody to watch him, I guess that'd be a little bit of a different thing. But I don't really trust people outside the family to watch him because he's a very lovable dog, but he at the end of the day he is a pretty sturdy guard dog. So if you try to surprise him or you do something he doesn't like, he doesn't growl at me. But if somebody like random just starts staring him down, like why would you ever stare down a German Shepherd? Fuck, I don't know. People do it though. He does not hesitate to growl and bark at you, and like he has a very light barks most of the time. It's rare that he ever is like has that bark where he's like, I want to feast on your remains. but he has the potential for that bark, or he has done that bark a few times before. But yeah, it's he's a good dog. But I don't want any bad situations. I guess he wouldn't, but I don't trust people not to tick him off in a way. See, anyway, Rob, best way we can explain it is what happened today is look what happened back in industrial times when groups of people fended for themselves and did what they had to do. Oh yeah, I'm anticipating a huge spree of crime coming up during the next recession. It's going to be going back to some type of organized crime here, and because so many cops are going to be, cop pay hasn't necessarily been going up. I expect to see a lot of cops taking money in bribes. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be more of a systemic crime problem because again, politicians have shown that they can be easily bought. You're seeing some crazy mayors, and I think there's a mayor somewhere in the country. I forget. Unfortunately, she's black, and I hate when black people do stupid stuff on the news because it makes black people in general look pretty bad. But she's doing some fucked up shit, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. We're just in a weird spot. Again, we're talking about like a pessimistic way, but there is a lot of good out there. Don't get me wrong. It's just that like I've been in the bad spots before where I know it's like a bad economy or even a good economy. You just don't have money. It fucking sucks. So again, that was maybe like 20 years ago in my life, so quite a bit of time. But I want to make sure that I'm still able to keep moving up and having a good quality of life. I just don't think that good quality of life is going to come from living in the United States. Panama seems to be fun. I want to learn a little bit more Spanish. That's, of course, something I need to do. I can understand Spanish, but I can't necessarily speak it. And I'm going to have to learn their dialect down there because I'm not going to learn Mexican and go down there. The Mexican dialect and go down there. I hear people say you can use $50 to trade, but you only make like $12. I mean, making $12 after $50 already seems like a crazy thing to do. Like, if you're trading $50, you should be happy with like $1 to $2 profit. And you do that enough, you're at $100. And then you're making about, $2 to $4 every trade. But you don't want to change up that strategy. You don't want to make the risk go up because, it only takes a few trades for that $50 to turn, if you're making $12, if you're risking $12 basically, only 5 bad trades and you're out of money. Not even, pretty much 4 trades and you're out of money. And each trade that you lose money makes it much harder to gain the same amount of money back on the other side. So, $50. Well, okay, this is my opinion. This is definitely my opinion here, but I'm much more cautious. If you have $50 trades, aim for $1 to $2. You do that over and over again, because all that matters is that you're consistent. If you're consistent, then you could add more money out of the 50, over time, and maybe you're making $3 or $4 with the $50. But typically, $1 to $2 is more than enough for a lot of people out there. And this is after fees, after everything. $1 to $2 profit. As your portfolio grows, your money that you bring in will grow. The issue is when you guys are looking for there you go. The issue is is when you start making more money, your strategies tend to change because you're making more money. So like, okay, well now maybe I've worked my way up from $50 to $1,000. Well, instead of doing the same stuff with just more money, you change the strategy as a whole, and that makes you at higher risk, you know? Because it's like when you gamble at a slot machine and you're gambling 60 cents or 90-cent bets, and then you hit a jackpot that moves you up from $100 or $50 that you had originally up to $500. Okay, but then instead of betting $60, now you're betting $3.75. You're betting $5. You're betting $10, and it just drains it that much faster because you change the way you've been trading for a while. Not the best analogy I know, but it's what usually happens to people. They get cocky and then they blow it, which is why a lot of different times when you see different people on Wall Street bets, which is why I usually go because there's so many examples on there, you actually see their accounts go up before it eventually all crashed back down. I don't even know if I can find that. I had tea. All right. Look here. Looks like everybody loves NVIDIA. Looking at charts fast so I don't fuck up and show something inappropriate. No, I don't see any like lost charts on here. These are all like long-term type of things. Calls. No, I don't see any. There's no bad ones right now. Looks like everybody's just sharing different stuff. A little bit down. Damn, those contracts are expensive. Earnings gamble. Do you recall? Oh shit, poor dude. Rivian's down like 15%. I mean, like, yes, 15%. Ooh, not the best. Okay, I can't find any. But a lot of times you see the chart go up a little bit because they were making some money, then they changed it, and then boom. Or they made some money, it went down, and they doubled down on a bad play, and then it just started going down really fast. And then you're in a spiral. Let's see. And hey, Tyler, when it comes to Coinbase and the $30 fees, I pay the $30 a month for Coinbase One or whatever it's called. I think it's worth it if you're moving money in between accounts quite a bit and you're selling and buying stuff quite a bit. The only caveat is you're still going to be paying fees sometimes if you oh, you want to play with this again? Uh-oh. There you go. No, not about the fees. You just got to make sure that you're not over trading. You know, usually when it comes to Coinbase, I like to have trading view charts over here, then a Coinbase account over here. What are you doing? You're just all hyped up, aren't you? You're in a mood. That's okay. But yeah, so Coinbase is fine, but you are still paying $30 a month. So, oh, that's the thing. So because you are paying that, to me, that is a fee at the same time. Make sure that your account is going up. Like if you have $100 in there and you're paying $30 a month, it's gonna suck. You're not gonna make any money. So again, that's usually why I steer people towards like the other exchanges out there, whether it's like a Binance or sponsors like Fairdesk and BYDFi. That's why I go over there, because you're gonna be paying fees a little bit. But if you're trading for $50, maybe do a $50 long with 5x or something, and you're swing trading with it. You're probably going to be paying like 5 cents, 6 cents in fees. I mean, like not even. And that with the profit and everything is going to keep you afloat. So you have to make sure you're making $30 a month worth of returns. Which is why one of my other sponsors here, Algo, it's why when I talk about them, I'm saying, hey, if you guys are using the smart money concepts in some of their free tools and if you're making a profit off of it that equals more than the cost of whatever Algo plan that you want, then I would recommend going over and buying Algo products, because then it'll actually make you more money because you understand how to use it and you've already making a good profit off it. It kind of just speeds things up a little bit. But if you're not making a profit with their free stuff, you have no reason to go buy their main stuff until you figure out how to use it properly. Because remember, it's just tools in the grand scheme of a whole larger strategy. Those tools just make things a lot easier, a lot more streamlined for new investors. But they have free tools, which you could learn how to use first, instead of actually, losing money or spending money. If you live in New York, oh yeah, definitely. I don't, right below New York. Oh, okay. So yeah, New York has a lot of restrictions and stuff like that, which is fine. But okay, buddy, I'm gonna call it a night. I need to go to bed and take some melatonin and stuff like that. It was fun chatting with you guys. Ty and Nikki, I know you guys are having a conversation, but after the stream ends, it'll move over to another stream. So if you guys want to talk there, you guys can, or you can pick it up here tomorrow or something like that. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Relax, the market's still doing okay. Technicals would suggest we are still looking at a little bit of a larger downward move incoming, but we haven't actually hit those bearish signs where everything is saying bearish, 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 bearish yet. We're not there yet, so there still is an opportunity for us to have a pretty nice pop tomorrow. But we're quickly approaching, so watch out over the next few days, and we'll see what happens. If Bitcoin is pretty much sideways tomorrow, I probably won't be streaming because I have to clean up my house. There's like so much shit everywhere. I got to clean it up. But besides that, I may see you tomorrow. See you, everybody.